everybody, and welcome to Duronni's Echo. I'm Michael, he, him, and I'll be your Dungeon Master. A story of mysteries and shadows. Our brave party embarks on a quest in, and maybe even beyond, the walls of Dreadstone. Will they unravel the arcane enigma that binds them to unseen forces? Every roll shapes tonight's tale in a dance of shadows and eldritch whispers. Let's meet the players and have a word from our sponsors.
Hi, I'm Nat. I use she, her pronouns, as does my character, Dr. Elethnora Duronni. Previously, head scientist at Nexus Arts Laboratory of Magical Sciences. Most recently seen, definitely doomed to death on Corazon at the hands of the elder evil Ragnora. She was abandoned by the gate crashers, so she's definitely gone forever, right? Well, maybe not.
Hi, my name is Tom. I use he, him pronouns, and I am playing Amaris. Amaris Giftig, she, her. I am a hagling and a necromancer, and well, previously I used to be an intern for the Monster Hunters. Now I'm a intern here, fighting the dead. Things never change.
Hi, my name's Talia. I use she, her pronouns, and I am playing xin'moira Lithram. She, they, Dampier cleric of Kalemvul. After a small crisis of faith, trying to think about what good the gods actually do in the world, and thinking she's going to be more help actually going out and fighting evil rather than just staying in a cloister, or she bids a tearful goodbye to her family and her new team and goes off here to go and do what she can fighting the hordes of the undead. It's actually quite nice.
Hi, I'm Sean, he, him, and I will be playing Xirius Serene Potent Worm, also he, him. Xirius is a dragonborn armourer artificer / forge cleric. Trained as an archaeologist at Strixhaven, then posted to Candlekeep as an envoy between there and the High House of Wonders in Baldur's Gate, where he met his wife of nearly 20 years. When she passed, he left the gate to undertake fieldwork down at Dreadstone Wall as an artisan, and came a little too close to comfort to some of the ills there. But if you want to find out more, you'll have to keep watching the show.
Check out our sponsor, Phoenix Dice, for carefully crafted click-clack math rocks for use in your favourite TTRPGs. Phoenix Dice work with recycled goods, meaning their products and packaging are all made from sustainable materials. You can go to phoenixdice.com to check their entire selection, and if you put !dice in the chat right now, you can enter yourself into a raffle with the chance to win some dice for yourself.
Thank you to our D20 Club on Patreon. You can join us from as little as one of your local currency by following the link in chat or in the description below. Our D20 Club are the best. They have created a fan Discord for us, as well as a wiki page to keep track of all the Roll Together stories. And you can find that at rolltogether.fandom.com.
We are delighted to be sponsored by Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, a Dungeons & Dragons strategy video game that brings together D&D characters from novels, adventures, and multiple live streams into a single grand adventure. You can select your heroes and formation, then battle through waves of monsters for free on PC, phone, PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch. And if you put !code into chat, you can get yourself a free election chest.
You can find us across social media by searching for Roll Together RPG or by following the links in chat or in the description below. If you can't join us live and you want to see our previous episodes, you can catch up straight afterwards on Twitch, YouTube, or your favourite podcast provider by searching for Roll Together RPG.
Finally, we run queer-friendly tables and encourage and support trans and GNC players and characters in our games. Our players and DM may portray characters that are of a different gender to their own. We aim to avoid misgendering, but acknowledge that it does happen. We welcome corrections and have a company policy in place for correcting people on pronouns. Check out !safety in chat for content warnings and some of the safety tools that we use through the TTRPG Safety Toolkit.
And welcome back. So, let's start this off. For centuries, Dreadstone Wall has stood as a formidable bastion against the tides of darkness that once threatened to consume the surrounding lands. Its origins trace back to a time when a mysterious plague swept through the land outside of the cavern it originated from, leaving devastation in its wake. Now, the story of how the land was saved may come up, may not, but we're going to fast forward quite a few centuries. The heroes of the past are going to be forgotten about for now, because we've got heroes now. Dreadstone Wall stands resolute, its ancient stones bearing a battle of survival. Huge braziers flicker, casting shadows on worn, battered cavern walls. The air is thick with the stench of decay, as undead hordes surge relentlessly, their moans reverberating through the cavern and creating an unending underground expanse of noise and racketeering. The clash of steel and the crackling of arcane energy mingle in a cacophony, roaring of defiance from the walls is where we're going to find our players. And everybody roll a d20. I feel like that's the easiest way. I feel like this is a great time to be like, cue epic music as well.
Go bolts, make it so.
I hope this isn't the only one I get. I got a natural 20.
Oh, fantastic start.
I got the complete reverse, so I know I'm going last.
And
Guess who critted going first to tell my name?
I get to talk about my characters. I got a 19.
19?
Yeah.
And a 5.
And a 5. So, Sean, why don't you lead us off?
Okie dokie. So, my character is Xirius Serene Potent Worm. He is a dragonborn with kind of orangey, brownish scales. It kind of, and I'm not going to be able to say the name of the creature that I've based this off of. Parasaurolophus. It's a dinosaur with the big kind of horn at the back. So yeah, not so much dragon horns, that sort of thing. Just one big one coming out the back of his head. He's dressed in green power armor that it's kind of got like nooks and divots that look like different things can kind of connect into it, almost like it's a work in progress sort of thing, just like plugs whatever into that he likes. And I think we're in the thick of it. Did you want us to place ourselves somewhere, or is that coming later?
Yeah. So for everybody at home, I don't know right now how we're going to do it, but there probably is going to be either a linking chat or on the screen of a map that we can all reference.
Or
fancy bebobby beeps up above somewhere or in chat. That you're all welcome to look at and follow along. But that's sort of what the player's going to be using to, at this certain point, reference where they are. So, yes, absolutely. You may tell us where you are on the map.
okay.
You can go through, have a little, tell you what it's all about, and you can tell me what you're doing.
I think in all likelihood, I would probably be at the Depthsward Tower, like supporting the people who are on the ballistae there. Just mainly because that is the one with the closest stairs from the library. So probably would have been just studying the various tomes in the stronghold. The alarm calls went out to say that we were under attack. Pegged it to the nearest tower to start raining down some ire. Well, that's me.
Absolutely. Would you make me a history check for me?
Oh, I would love to make a history check. I'm going to use this dice as well. My new dice. Oh, it's rolling well today. It's an 18.
An 18. So some things you would know about the tower is the tower is said to house a network of tunnels between most of the towers. It's quite, I mean, picture like the really thin, quite enclosed tunnels of like the crypts in Paris or sort of other places that are similar, where it's sort of very networky and thin and tight.
Bit labyrinthine.
But it has been known by certainly Lyra Love, who is the captain of this tower, to be used very cleverly in strategic movements of her soldiers, mainly archers and things like that. But whether you use that now or you remember that for later, that's a little piece of information. So let's go into a bit more detail of exactly what you're doing. You're raining down fire, but I'd like to see what you're doing, and maybe we could figure out how well you're doing it.
It's probably more kind of thunder and lightning that I'm raining down rather than fire as such. But yeah, just kind of if anything gets too close or manages to scale a tower, I'll be like using some thunderclaps to smack them off. I don't imagine by this point I've gotten too. How long have we been fighting?
So actually, probably at this point, maybe a couple of hours.
Oh bloody hell! Okay.
Now, when we say hard, this is like an ocean of undead. It's a constant influx. It's like waves that just keep consistently hitting at the wall. So being smart about your resources, how much you use, how little you use, would be very clever. So sort of being steady away is certainly a very smart tactic, but it's totally up to you at this point. You are. Do you want to give me? Let's have an perception check as well at this point.
Oh, okay. Oh no, I've dropped my dice. I'm gonna have to use someone else.
Cursed now. I was doing
Oh,
well,
no.
but now it's cursed forever.
No, I've just found it. It just rolled off my pen. Perception. I just realised I didn't add anything to my history roll. I'm just so used to D&D Beyond doing things like that. So that was actually a 27, but you know, hey ho.
Oh, wow.
17 for
A
that.
27, bear with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know everything about this tower.
Normally I'm rolling on D&D Beyond, but I was like, I've got exciting purple new dice, so I'm using that.
My new dice are purple as well.
Ooh, dice twins.
Dice twins. Sorry.
You would most definitely know that the main points of contact that the Depth Ward Tower has is it. You will have travelled these as well with a 27. There is definite marked trails through the tunnels to the Vigil Tower and to the Subterra Tower. So you know for a fact, and you know the pathway to get there, that if you enter down into the tunnels, you know how to get to those two towers.
The Terror Tower.
Not the Tower of Terror.
Tower.
Oh,
no.
the elevator.
I don't think.
And everyone goes back to Alton Towers.
I was going to say, we've established the existence of theme parks. We've just got one running in the corner going, look, zombies are coming, like, shh, wee.
Fab.
It's more like
cool.
it's a. Oh my god!
It's amazing what an extra hour's worth of pondering on it while smacking, presumably undead, does. Yeah, in that case, I think he's not really kind of gotten too up close and personal. Like he's been throwing spells from a distance, but he's definitely like getting fatigued by this point because he's not. You know, he's an academic. He's not got the stamina really for keeping up that long. He's probably had to go down and, you know, just have a quiet sit down a couple of times just to recharge. Um,
I just immediately pictured you going down, running into the pub, downing a pint, and going back up onto the top.
yes, of course.
Okay. Do you want to give me? We couldn't inform sort of how we are feeling about how well it's going. Give me 3 straight D20s.
Same dice or different dice?
3 different dice. It's fine.
All right. Oof. Right. Well, I rolled a 14, a 16,
16.
and a 5.
5. That's a pretty, even though the fives bring it down, you still got a pretty solid average there. So you are being pretty heftily effective. In fact, at this point, Captain Lyra, she sort of turns and gives you a nod and begins to sort of reassign archers to other towers, and you see them drop down this. It's almost like a firefighter's pole, but it's like a vine that they jump and slide down, and they disappear down into the caverns and begin to disperse themselves as you're just sort of consistently keeping them away from the tower. Anything that's going, you're just on it. Brilliant. Who was next? Amaryllis, I do believe, with a 19. Where is she?
She is on the Marshal's Tower. Bless her heart, right in the middle of basically the communications outlet. Yes, I'll tell you what she's doing first, and then I'll describe Amaryllis for those of you who don't know. She is with the Marshals, who are helping organize it, and she's basically on communications details. So it's a lot of her jumping up, over, like leaning over the balustrades, pointing, casting message to one of the towers, ducking down, and then sort of poking her head up and going, "Oh, they need reinforcements," and then just trying to like flag someone down and go, and then eventually going, "Reinforcements there," and then like, "Yeah, I'm doing a good job." For those of you who haven't had the absolute honor of meeting Amaryllis, she is 5 foot. Again, talking about theme parks, canonically too small to ride on the big rides at theme parks, as we found out in Monster Hunters 2. It's been a couple of years since we've seen her. She's actually graduated from her college in creative writing. I don't know if that ever came up, but she wanted to write novels, but no. She's and part of the reason she didn't get to really use her skills is she's a hagling. She's the child of 2 hags who weirdly were in love. So for all the normal sort of hag stuff, she's actually, in their mind, a very wholesome, friendly family who are like, "Yeah, you go make lovely deals." Amaryllis stole the grimoire of her family, and then turned out most of it was necromantic. She's destroyed that, so that's not going to be a problem anymore. She's not a necromancer. No. So yes, she's 5 foot, green, large ears. Her horns, which used to sort of curve up on each other, she went and talked to someone, sort of cut them back down. So now she can wear hats, which is the most important thing in D&D. Can you wear a nice hat? Previously, she'd been wearing potato sacks because she didn't have clothes, but someone's actually given her clothes now. She's got a very, very dusty, nice little. Well, it was like a summer dress, and now it's just very grubby. So yeah, she is. Okay, yeah, no, there's been some problems with Amaryllis here involving the undead, but no, she's on her best behaviour and is on messages, just casting messages, trying to make sure people got enough water. Again, casting over to the tower and just he's going to the pub. He says he's coming back, but yeah. So yeah, she's not on the very front lines, but she's again with the generals being able to communicate.
Perfect. Surrounding you, there's only 3 of you on this tower currently. Odendra, Nightshade, one of 2 marshals. She's this incredibly meticulous drow. Never says anything she doesn't mean, and certainly never insinuates things. Most people very much so respect her for that. But she does have almost like a soft spot for you. Certainly that diplomatic side of her wavers when you get into trouble, and is usually in a clever without undermining her own authority, is very good at getting you out of trouble while you still potentially have some sort of punishment. But at this point, you are on it. There's no room right now in her mind for sort of the fun. She's been incredibly sort of forthright. She trusts you. She knows exactly what you're doing. You seem to know exactly what you're doing, and so she's on it. And next to her is Faerun. It's very stoic, disciplined, militaristic dwarf. As classic and as, I guess, generic as you can go with that. Who is sort of currently just just staring out. He's got sort of long. The word has left my brain. Not binoculars, the individual one. Telescope, thank you. And is currently like marking out on a map where sort of larger ogre like undead creatures are coming from, and marking out teams to go sort of prioritize and take out these larger creatures while the sort of horde pushes along. Do you want to give us the 3d20s
Sure.
to sort of see where you're going forwards with this?
Sure. Oh no. Okay, so we begin with 1, then we go for a 20, and then we go for a 17. Amaryllis, yo!
Yeah. I mean, your average is still not horrific, even with the nat 1, but we've got to punish a nat 1.
You got to.
So...
I mean, I'm quite small, and I've been doing a lot of jumping around. So...
I mean, I was not going to go there, but if you're going there...
I don't necessarily want to fall off the tower, but just...
I was thinking you meant like you sprained an ankle jumping off a chair. No, fall off a tower. Okay.
Not falling off an 80-foot tower.
Hey guys, you're probably wondering how I got here.
Okay. So you have been pretty successful, but at this point, you have rushed yourself along the actual wall, and you're basically passing on stuff. You're like the opposite of a marathon runner. Instead of the people giving them like the bottles of water, you're like running along and just pouring water onto different soldiers' heads to cool them down as you're going across. And to what effect? That water, on the other hand, is going to be your downfall. Oh, no. So would you like to give me a dexterity saving throw?
Oh, really? It's a 16.
Okay, 16. Without too much issue, you slide, and it's basically as you sort of brow the top of the tower, where Xerius is, you appear and basically slip. And as Xerius is casting spells and using wards to block creatures climbing up on the wall, you slip and basically do that classic like half a second in midair before Xerius grabs you by the back of the scruff and just like sort of places you back.
How gentle do you think Xerius? How gentle would you be? Would you just put me? You're an academic. You're not just going to throw me. I sort of like you're sort of looking at massive eyes like. Thank you for saving me. Water?
I think it's probably not even it's probably not even close. It's literally kind of you plummet past, and he has to kind of leap after you, catches you, and then just like taps a button on his suit, which like the boosters in the back in his boots just suddenly just kick in and shoot him back to where he was stood, but kind of holding you.
just being held by a dragonborn. It's not. Again, I'm just like, thank you so much. Again, reach into like my dress and pull out like half a thing of water and go. You could just drink that rather than me throwing at you. How's the battle going?
Yes, it's going as well as a battle can do, I suppose. You're doing a good job. Well done.
And
Looking
on
all
that
instantly
point,
some blushes. Like,
on that point, the information, like you are noticing the pathway that Amaryllis has taken from the Marshal's Tower to yours. All of the soldiers are on form, are being more efficient. You can see them moving positions, directing their fire and stuff like that. Whatever Amaryllis is doing, she is passing on incredibly helpful and efficient information from the Marshal's Tower. It just so happens that she nearly fell off the tower.
it happens.
It's real give and take, this. I feel like there might be a theme coming along.
Again, sort of like having done that, and then sort of making sure very clear, reading off what the orders are,
Yeah.
and then sort of like go, do you require reinforcements?
I think that we're holding all right. They've actually reassigned some soldiers from our tower, so we're holding the fort.
As you look out across, you can see a certain other person who maybe is already responding to a tower or wall or area of the battlefield that maybe isn't faring so well and needs a little injection of Moira.
Ooh.
What's Moira up to, Talia?
So Moira had been running a little triage center for any of the soldiers who'd been a little bit injured, seeing who needs to be sent off with emergency to the... I'm sorry, my cat has just stolen a dice.
It happens in war. We have to be prepared.
At least it's a dice. Just before we started streaming, my cat stole half a potato.
I do.
You just muted yourself, Talia.
I did not mute myself. The cat muted me. Okay, cat, you've been banned. This is
Chaos
so
Gremlin.
No.
Just trying to gaslight you there, like, no, you can't tell them about my crimes.
I've never done a sin in my life.
How dare you?
She is completely innocent in all things apart from havoc. Anyway, where was Moira? xin'moira had been running the triage center, but trying to keep an eye on any news of, anyone who's stuck outside, any towers that aren't doing so well, anyone who might be a little bit overrun, who might just need a little bit of healing. And as she's patching the last one up, I think just having a look, seeing where the movement is.
You want to make a perception check at this point.
I do. That is I know my numbers. 19.
Oh, fantastic. So from you can see that almost between the Cavern Guard Tower and Stoneheart Tower, a huge, like, almost boil up of these undead are they're climbing on top of their dead bodies at this point. And you can see they're almost creating a undead ladder. And it's building to the point. The other two sides are Sub-Terra Tower and a Depth Sword, where Xerius and Amaryllis currently are, seem to be pretty clear at this point, as that all the sort of energy is now being concentrated on this central point. And a lot of you can see a lot of soldiers and heroes and captains are all sort of converging on that point. It certainly looks like there's definitely something not great going on over there.
She's gonna go stand up. She's gonna kind of just brush her hair out. It's the dark purple's even darker because it's now matted a little bit. Her armor and her battle skirts are covered in like dust and mud and other people's blood. And if you look at her face, her teeth are just slightly longer. It's a little bit jittery, but she's holding it. And then she's going to look at both sets of stairs, decide that they are too far away from the main center, and just literally run up the stairs, up the wall, vertically up the wall. Get closer to that action. Couldn't hold it together for like 5 fucking minutes, could you? And then just burst out and destroy undead.
Oh, fantastic. Do you want to give me those 3d20s?
Cool.
Certainly, you can save an advantage for one with the fact that you're using quite an powerful spell or channel.
Yeah.
Also for terrifying the other soldiers to be like, oh no, oh we've angered her.
This terrifying undead's on our side.
So that is cool. I can do math. I can do numbers. I can read numbers. That is a 7, a 12, and 11. I'm going to roll again, and that. Okay, that's a natural 20. So
Fantastic. That's all we needed. That's all we needed. In fact, would you like the honors of describing how you just eviscerate this? We'll give you a couple of hundred that are piling up on this mound currently that are about to sort of breach the wall on this side as you pass through.
Climbs up and then starts her destroy undead, and it's kind of like bursting out in her kind of like waves of like gold kind of tinged with red, like it's that deep undercurrent there. And as that first layer goes, she's going to just carry on running down the wall the other side and try and just break down this mountain as much as she can. And just kick.
You're just in the thick of it. What weapon do you wield? Or are you just straight up just blasting them away through pure radiance?
She's got her whip, which is her corpse slayer whip, which she's had from her previous game. Which is essentially a beat the living heck out of the undead with. So just smacking them here and there out of it.
I imagine you're almost using, like, wrapping it around one of the undead bodies to clear multiple undead bodies.
Yeah.
Just Belmonting down the corridor.
Absolutely.
Amaryllis and Xerius, you're both sort of stood and you kind of, like, look across, and the soldiers, archers that are fighting alongside you all sort of just, like, all turn and look down the wall side as this huge radiant explosion just goes off as you watch bodies of undead just go scattering everywhere.
As she does before she goes up, she just wants to have a quick look to see that none of their people have fallen down or fallen off or got caught up.
No.
Yes.
They're experienced enough to duck.
Or just stomp one a little harder and then run back up.
At this point, we've got the three of you are sort of looking out at this battlefield, and with Moira's intervention plus the consistency of Xerius and the efficient information traveling through Amaryllis, you are noticing that whether it's coming to an end or there certainly is a lull in the wave. What's coming further out is becoming slightly more sporadic. A couple of the teams that have been sent out by Amaryllis via the marshals have gone out and taken down these larger creatures quite efficiently and returned back to the wall. And you're noticing at this point it's becoming more cleanup. Archers just dropping them, a couple of paladins and clerics popping out and clearing space. Just as you seem to sort of gain this upper hand, the ground shakes. An unseen force draws upon your very essence. You can feel yourself almost blur. And if you're familiar with that spell as a caster, that's sort of the initial thought, but you're not casting anything. But you notice that blur slowly dissipates as almost a translucent version of yourself begins to be drawn outwards towards the warded fall or a no man's land, or however we would. Your form that leaves you simmers with this sort of almost ethereal radiance, weaving into the fabric of a massive blue, I guess like azure, purple mixed portal. At this point, anybody's welcome to roll an Arcana.
100% is going to do that. Ah, you failed me. My new dice gave me a 1 for a 10, but it's still a natural 1.
I got a 25.
Oh, okay.
I was proud of my 17, but hey.
Okay. Well,
weird necrotic feels where I'm just like, yeah, this seems unexpected.
You both beat the Artificer, so.
You build it, you don't tell them what it is. Moira, although this is something relatively unfamiliar to you, although that's me making a massive assumption about your character, so you're welcome to correct that. But this is what you would recognize as eldritch energy, something drastically different to your experience fighting undead, certainly at this point in your life here. But that's not the most. But Amaryllis, your eyes widen as you know this is certainly eldritch energy. Which one? That's not great. That's not an influence you want. Not around this problem anyway. But the second is what it's building, and it's like nothing you've ever seen before. There is a melding of eldritch power. Now, it's the power that's very specific in your mind, because that's what's building what you would know as a plane shift portal or a shifting thing. But the very noticeable thing is it's being powered not by an arcane power. It's being powered through eldritch energy.
Having that note, I hurry over to the other side, sort of leap up and try and cast message back at one of the marshals to just say, Arcane Gate, Eldritch Energy, bad news. They need to know. They need to be prepared for this.
I think the response, do you send it to Forgrim or Odendra?
I think Odendra, because Odendra's more magic. I mean, she can convey to Forgrim what's going on, but also she likes me more, so I think Forgrim would be more like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I don't know. I didn't fall off the wall.
Well, let's see how informed she is herself. Okay. I think with that roll being so well, the response, instead of question, is just, oh shit.
I just, again,
the most uneloquent and
literally we sort of like
she knows what it is in a sense. So
the terrifying zoom on like Amaris's face, of like, oh no.
At this point, you all turn and you can. It's like you're stood on the coast at this point with the way the air of this sort of stagnant, stinking air is being blown towards you as this sort of whirlwind of eldritch energy is building and building and building this massive portal. It tears open on the far end of the cavern. It sort of lines where the old wall sits. And you can still feel your forms shivering with this ethereal pull and radiance that's been taken, and it certainly has been taken from you. A lone figure emerges. At this point, the light is so bright behind them, all you can see is the silhouette. But as the figure steps through, surrounded by an aura of mysterious energy, you witness the arrival. And probably for the first times in a very long time that you've been here, a momentary pause of the undead as they almost shuffle and turn with like probably one of the first times you've ever seen undead actually form a thought, which is what? Of this mysterious energy. They pause their onslaught as if sensing an incredible, powerful source. You're not entirely sure. Well, actually, I guess with a 25, you're 50% sure that the thing that's come out isn't the powerful force, but you're also not sure. Because the idea of something creating that is particularly terrifying. But as the figure takes another step forwards onto the warded fall, what does everybody see? Matt?
Hi! They see a small raccoon shape. No, they don't. They don't. It's not Tony this time, no. Half-elven woman, relatively tall, about 5'11", slender build. Probably, I imagine staggers out. You described it as her stepping very coolly there, Mike. I don't think that would have been the case.
Okay, we can do a mini retcon there.
I mean, it's all silhouetted because of the bloom from the light, so the silhouette looks
sure.
very cool, and then
Yeah.
We're like so cool. You're just like fuck, ow.
Yeah, I think she like literally staggers out and goes like, I can't believe that fucking worked.
We're literally steaming.
And then looks up and sees all of the dead, the undead ahead of her. Is just like, oh shit. But yeah. So Dr. Elethnora Duronni, or Nura, is, like I said, half elf of a woman. She's got short purple hair, slicked back with a gold streak in it. She's she's got an eye patch over her right eye. I want to say, I can't see the mini right now. That one. And she's wearing like a heavy, very dusty overcoat. With, I mean, you're not close enough to see, but there is traces of like a sort of slightly tattered blue jumpsuit underneath it. Very practical boots, and she's got a big brassy cuff on her left arm with lots of like dials and doodads on it. Yeah, that is her. That is what she looks like. She steps forward and says, "Oh fuck."
At this point, Moira, would you like to make a history check? I'm going to make a perception check for the soldiers. I'm also going to make a perception check for the marshals. Amaryllis and Xerius, you're welcome to make perception checks to pick out more detail. You can also pair that off with an insight if you so wish.
I was going to say I did roll my natural 1 on the like identifying the portal, so I'm wondering whether it's a case of like because he's got goggles of night because he can't see in the dark and he lives in a cave. So I'm imagining that like the brightness just kind of overloaded the goggles. So I think probably he's a little bit incapacitated at the moment.
Okay, yeah.
It's a long-winded way of me saying I'm not rolling shit.
You can't make me. I got a 24 on my insight. So
24. What was your perception check just before that? The perception check's to say whether you see, and then the insight is going to tell you what you may also see.
18 on perception.
Oh, fantastic.
Can I sort of say that I've also got, like, it's not as nice, but a little telescope. I'm just sort of like, just a little bit like...
Opera glasses.
Maybe Sirius made it for you.
It's a kaleidoscope.
Yes!
Colours going... just I pick up the vibe. It's a bit like when you detect magic. You're like, oh, it's a very green.
Why is there a butterfly in the middle of the battlefield?
Snowflakes, dead ahead.
Crystals are attacking again.
16 history for me.
16 history.
Yeah.
You recognize her, but you can't place where. You definitely recognize her. Amaryllis. You can see the exact description that Nat gave, with also a butterfly surrounding her.
Butterflies come to help us.
And you rolled a 20-something?
That was a 24 inside.
24. Now, do not tell us which, Nat, but you are welcome to either present yourself exactly how you are, or you may make a persuasion or deception on how you are, what your intentions are.
I don't think at this point Nora is thinking about anyone on the wall.
Yep.
I don't think they are
I think that's
important
super
right now.
reasonable.
I think right now her priorities are, well, I guess, question for you, how close is the nearest undead to me?
Right now, there is many scorched to death ones, or to re-death, ones that the portal seems to have just totally eviscerated in its
Great
formation.
ideal.
So you have about a semicircle of about 30 foot, and where that 30 foot ends, there is a 1,000, maybe more.
You know, light sprinkling. Yeah.
That's fine. Okay. Priority order of operations: 1, make sure this fucking portal closes behind me and stays closed. And 2, if she manages to do that, I don't know how you're ruling that, Mike, but also as soon as any of the undead get within 10 feet of her, I want to cast Resilient Spear on myself.
Very clever.
I'm staying here.
I'm going to be in my little zorb and nothing can get me.
Somebody come get me.
Moving it, you roll
Of
yourself
course, yeah,
around.
you're going to be like, bonk, 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 bonk,
It's a
bonk.
hamster ball. Yeah.
The Rex special.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
But making sure the portal is closed, I can't do from inside the sphere, so we'll try and make sure that happens first, if it's safe.
So, 2 problems
Uh-huh.
that immediately come to your mind. 1, as soon as you exited the portal, you stopped concentrating on anything that was on the other plane that you came from, as it was a thing that you created, not necessarily, and then you put the power into it. Your own power had a lot to do with it, your influence and your concentration, but apart from that, you have very little to do with the success of what you built to create this portal. So when you exit, you are no longer concentrating on it. The only problem is the portal's still there. And at this point, maybe you could give me a Arcana check with advantage, as canonically you did create this thing.
Okay, that's non-nat 20.
Okay. So, influence is being taken in. You can see essences of things, energy. It's forming in your eyes as you sort of reattune to the magic you used. It almost seems to be using something to hold itself here. Now, in your guesstimations, you knew that it needs something to home it, in a sense. Like the portal needed something similar to a tuning fork, something like that, on this side to hold it in place. whatever that essence is that it's taking in is that grounding that the portal needed. The other thing is it's swirling, and the essence and the energy of the portal seems to be breaking away and touching things. It's almost like tendrilled hands, like touching the ground, touching a boulder, touching a broken, rusted sword, touching the bones of an undead creature, touching an undead zombie that is still stood. You can see it almost investigating it. It's like tinkling and wrapping around the bodies. That's everything you see as of this point.
What in your head, oh gracious DM, who invented this method of transportation from Corazon to our material plane, was there any component that I used in the creation of this? Like we spoke before about a little brooch thing. Did I use that in creation of this portal?
So yeah, you used the brooch, but you needed something incredibly powerful, and the only thing that you had in abundance was eldritch power.
Yep.
And that is something, again, correct me if I'm wrong, you probably aren't learned in.
Yeah.
So you basically harnessed the pure power of it instead of manipulating it.
Okay, so I'm hoping that the nearby zombies are so stunned and blinded by all of this that they're maybe gonna give me more than 6 seconds, but we'll see.
You blinded them with science.
I did. Well, I'm hoping to. The portal is reaching out and touching stuff, which I'm not entirely sure I'm a fan of. I don't know if I was expecting it to do that.
Oh no, definitely not.
No.
Oopsies.
There's a lot of swearing in Elvish, and then is there? I'm gonna fire off a quick detect magic on the portal to make sure that it's not like Ragnora's positive energy that's coming through. That I was pretty sure that the way that this was going to work was like I would be pulled through, but nothing else could follow me, rather than me like bursting through and making a hole that everything could pour through.
Mm-hmm.
So,
do you want to? We'll start off with an Arcana check at advantage.
Okay.
For that one, and when it comes to the types, it's magic.
That was less good. Okay. With advantage, that is 15. Oh, wait. Steady. Oh no, I think it's investigation and perception. Because I'm a mark of detection, half elf.
Oh well, if that's where you would more likely have your information come from, then I can see that you could justify a different role. That's something actually really helpful little snippet of information. I may give you a role, but if you feel like there is something that will fit more, probably more conveniently at the time for you, or something you think you could justify as a role instead, throw it out there and we can always see what you think. I'm always happy to be like, oh, could I?
Could I?
What if it was a dex roll?
Acrobatics. Could I incite the wall instead to see?
Performance?
Could I fall on the floor?
What if I climbed this wall really dramatically? Could it be a performance check?
And then our lovely viewers get to have a listen to an incredibly interesting and most likely very frustrating conversation.
I'm not saying no.
Must say yes and. Must say yes and.
Okay, well, if it's investigation, my modifier for investigation and arcana are the same. But if it's investigation, adding the d4 is an extra 4, so that would be a 19 total.
Oh, very good. So, yes, you are correct. You have been essentially, with the way you've mounted the spell to be hooked from this side instead of the side you came from, you have been pulled through, you haven't walked through, which was a very specific part of how you created this. So you are, I'm going to say 99% confident nothing else is coming through this.
I don't like that 1% though.
Yeah, it's always just in case. And in regards to the actual detect, you're getting massive heavy amounts of conjuration, and then I'm actually pulling a blank on whether Eldritch is the magic or if Eldritch is split up into different types of magic.
Ooh.
And my brain is not picking up anywhere in my font of not very much knowledge whether
Hey, guess what, Mike? It's your world. You can decide.
Eldritch magic.
We've got a ninth school, y'all.
Eldritch magic.
Yes, and.
And it's definitely the negative type, which was your
Negative.
intention. But also the way you're watching it wrap around those zombies, you're like, I'm not sure that negative energy is.
No, stop that. Don't get friendly. I don't like that.
And
No.
speaking of friendly, you watch as the Eldritch negative energy begins to form and bulge and bastardize these undead into these, not necessarily formless, they still are what they are, which is undead humanoids of some kind, or ogre or other said creature, but they are beginning to, you can see the energy bursting from different parts of them. The aura begins to sort of shift around them and become a bigger problem to you.
Shit.
Now, we're going to do a quick switch up. Amaryllis and Xerius, you are together watching this happen. Moira, you're currently on the ground, but you're a good, let's have a quick little nosy.
I was going to ask you I can see the squared version of your map.
Yes.
What's the size of each of those squares? Is it 10 foot, 20 foot?
It is. You're going to hate me, and every viewer is going to hate me for this. It's 15 by 15.
Oh, good lord.
But I am going to fix it and make a one that's making a sensible.
And did you have a location on the map that you had kind of envisioned the portal opening? I know you said like the opposite wall.
So where the old wall sits, it would be on the lower side or the south side of the old wall.
All right.
In between.
And for the context of north, east, southwest, north is up, south is down.
So next to that viscera in the middle.
This is really stupid, but I was looking at the map and I completely blanked out on everything you were saying about where the portal was.
The portal, so where the old wall would have stood,
Yeah.
it's just on the south side of the old wall.
Okay, that's helpful. Awesome.
Okay. So I count that as I'm kind of counting diagonal squares. Exciting maths talk for everybody at home. I'm counting 16 squares from the tower I'm in to the old wall to that side. If each one is 15, then every two would be 30. So that's 8 times 30. So that's 240 foot. And I've been looking down my spells. I have literally no way of making myself faster. So I'm not getting to you anytime soon. Zoznat.
That's okay.
I have a thing up my sleeve. I can travel as quick as I can.
I get.
Mhm.
I'm going to run anyway.
So,
I'm looking through my telescope. I'm like, oh no, oh, she's off.
I'm gonna wave at Rilly to see if she can send me a message so I can respond to her and tell her what I want her to do.
Ping. Hello. That's weird. Eldritch badness. What's the plan, boss?
Gonna go there. See if my job's rescue. Gonna rescue. Get the archers to give covering fire if they can, and a team maybe to do some fast retrieval.
Thumbs up.
Cool.
Okay, so Moira's going to jump over the wall and turn to the archers. It's like, covering fire.
Right. Do you have a way of getting there fast?
Me?
Mhm.
I can clamber down the wall, but probably not. I could send a message.
That doesn't sound fast enough. Right.
No.
I'm literally going to pick Amaryllis up. I didn't mention this at first, but Sirius is 6'9" and about 265 pounds of sheer lizard. So it's literally just going to lift you up under the arms. And I'm going to it's a racial feature, but I'm describing it as part of my suit. I kind of smack something, and these spectral dragon wings they look like they're kind of projected light, but it's projected shadow, so it's like darkness instead. Just kind of projects out of the back of the suit. So yeah, I'm casting Gem Flight, and I'm going to leap off the tower and start slowly pootling my way, carrying Amaryllis, which I'm assuming is going to halve my speed. But yeah, using my
Amaryllis is very wee, from what I
am.
understand.
I'm just a little lady. I got
Why don't you
hollow
make?
bones.
Why don't you acrobatics or athletics? Your choice.
I mean, there's a one difference in it, so I'm going to acrobatics it. And I rolled on beyond for no reason at all. Well, that's an 18.
Oh, Amaryllis is not going to affect your movement.
Sweet. In that case, for a minute, I have spectral wings. I'm assuming that'll get us there, and then we're boned in lots of ways. But I'm just going to let's see. I get a flying speed equal to my walking speed, and I can hover. So I am literally just going to use my action and my movement to move 60 feet around until I reach the newcomer.
Mm-hmm. Are you going via Moira, or is Moira just basically?
We can't.
How are you getting through the horde?
I was hoping. Oh, it's you. That makes much more sense.
I was thinking 4th level spirit guardians.
The whirling dervish.
Yeah, just absolutely. Yeah, the original stat line for them would be very difficult not to wipe out a horde stat zombie. So just, I mean, God, it's a bit of a it's like putting a chainsaw as you just plow through them all. Do you want to mark that off, and then do you want to describe how Moira herself does this, as she's just sort of like plowing through?
I've got 3 of them. Okay, yeah. I think it's just then, again, that same kind of, golden red energy coming out, but kind of in concentric circles around, and you see kind of just like small people-like figures around her. So xin'moira has she's got a lot of nibblings. She's got her family around her, and I feel that her spirit guardians are like the representation of her family and also like the friends that she makes. She's been quite isolated for a long time, and so if she finds someone that she connects with, she kind of connects on. So her previous team are kind of all there, her family are there, and they're all just kind of around her.
There's a giant bee there.
There was a giant bee.
Yay.
That's going to be interesting because one of the people in your previous team is going to be recognizable to Nora.
That's true.
And potentially a penguin as well.
What's happening? Just like, hey.
So, imagine at this point, Amaryllis and Xerius, you land just outside of the sphere that Nora's got going. Do you want a superhero land or?
Sorry, was that to us?
You superhero land, and I just sort of tuck and roll. Like,
I think just as we're kind of approaching and almost there, I would want to just use a bonus action to use Searing Smite, or like to start getting that ready, start concentrating on that, and then literally it's just going to be. I realise I actually don't use weapons. I just punch things. So it's kind of a Searing Smite in my fist. And yeah, I'm going to superhero landing, but punching the ground, and just a ripple of thunder will just emanate from that landing point. And at some point I will put down Amaryllis.
Very nice. There's a couple of like uninfluenced as of yet undead that you sort of land, and Nora, you turn. Do you want to make a perception check to see if you're surprised?
Sure. I was going to say, like, did we establish? Sorry, I was distracted by other things. Can Xerius fly that whole distance in 6 seconds? Did you do a thing to, or was it a couple of rounds?
Oh, it's because we're not in combat.
We're not technically
I
in combat.
basically kind of skipped
Perfect.
to your arrival.
It would be
I
four rounds, so it would be, what, 24 seconds.
Okay.
I've
Probably would have
zipped
fired
them in
off a
half a minute.
couple of fireballs in that
Yeah.
time, and then have sphered as soon as anything got near me. So you would have seen that as you came in. Perception, you say? What the? Great. It's pretty darn good. That is where's my D4 gone? 24. That's 27.
27. Yeah, you definitely see these two. I don't know if Amaryllis is
From a mile off.
just like, this is
Yeah.
freaking incredible as you're flying across.
It's
you
There's
see-
a couple of fireballs, and then as she sees you kind of coming over, she'll do a wave and try to shout, "I'm not one of them! I'm not undead!" And then we'll sphere as the zombies get close.
Looking
You
at
land
Xerius, I'm like,
and-
I don't think she's lying. I don't think she is.
It's comforting to know.
You land, sending this sort of wave through and blasting the undead. You do notice, though, at this point, that the one or two that have been sort of infected by this certainly don't seem as perturbed by the blasters the standard undead do. I can almost picture like you three landing, you two landing in front of Nora, sort of looking at each other, and then you just hear like, and like this thumping going bang, boom, boom. And then you all three of you kind of look, and you can just see this radiant energy just blasting zombies from the horde as xin'moira makes an appearance, blasting through the line and appearing with you all.
She says she's not undead.
Cool.
So, just turn. Hello, welcome.
Just double checking whether sound can travel through a resilience sphere, because energy and spells cannot, and physical objects
I
cannot.
also just like the idea that going, I know how to lip read.
I feel like-
But I do actually.
Yeah.
I imagine the scene is certainly noise related, but also visually related.
It doesn't say a block sound. It's fine.
See what Moira's doing and hear what Moira's doing.
I'm sorry to have brought this to you all. Do you have a safe place?
Yeah, just yeah. We got the base.
Great.
Sanctuary. Do you claim sanctuary?
Do I have to?
Kind of. Yeah. Just the fact you're not undead does gonna Too much
I
talking.
can help you with this. Sanctuary, let's go.
Go. Let's go.
Rolly.
Face a little bit more, kind of going.
Would you like to make another history check at this point, Laura?
Yes, please.
I mean, if she stacks this, my passive perception is 23.
Bloody hell.
Is it to look at you?
Yeah,
But-
19.
19.
But for me to spot Arcana in that mix of swirling spirit guardians as well.
I'd always thought they were kind of like featureless, but if you know Arcana's shape,
Are they like
I mean, is there a
chibis of each
penguin?
of them?
Sorry, just to clarify, you were in re-inspecting Nora again, or were you
Yes.
expecting? Yeah, yeah, I was got myself lost there. Yeah. The bell goes or the light switch flicks on. You recognize Nora at this point. It's the hair, I imagine. Maybe is quite a good tell.
Maybe the
Probably
eye
the
patch.
eye patch.
Yeah, I know it's D&D, isn't it?
That's to every other person. I used to be an
Listen, mate,
adventurer till I took
That
an
could have
arrow
been-
to
that
the
could be
eye.
Tom, Dick, or Harry. We don't know.
Do we think we have this
But-
moment of kind of like starting to run and then both clock each other and we both simultaneously look at each other and say, you know, Arcana.
you're the crazy one who hurt people. I don't care. Come.
What?
I don't know.
Whoa now.
I'm basing it off a description I was given.
Okay, that's entirely fair. Let's go.
Save it for inside, and I rocket kick something as we fly past it again.
They know each other from work. This is great. Also, I'm just like.
Throw some spells.
Pew-pew.
I'm a giant walking spell, running spell at the moment.
You're doing great.
Thank you.
Now, with the ways that you've all fought to be able to pass through the horde, whether that's ploughing through it, rolling over the top of them, or all I can imagine is, like those big Zorb balls at like concerts, and there's like the entire crowd like letting them crowd surf in the Zorb ball. I feel like Nora's literally crowd surfing along the horde, at the top of the horde at this
Amazing.
moment in time. Unless there's anything specific you'd like to do while you're out here, whether that's to do with the portal or the horde itself. Now, I will remind you, it was certainly at this point coming to an end. Is there anything else you'd like to do, or would you like to just return to the wall at this point?
I mean, this is just a random thing. Your ball makes you weigh like next to nothing, right?
I believe so. It does say like I can be carried by another creature.
Yeah.
Nice ball. How do you feel about catapult?
What?
Do it.
Well, we like pan out, and you can see the entire fortress and all the soldiers like.
We brought a wizard.
Incredible.
That's how we can absorb up a
perception check
wall.
at this point, Nora.
A what check, sorry?
Perception, please.
Okay. That's it.
This never happened at
Silly.
Nexus. I had such respect.
This is a grim, dark campaign where we fight for our lives against the undead and
Yes.
have too many giggles.
She's
This
a
is
very
exactly-
serious character.
This is exactly what I thought was going to
Boing,
happen.
boing, 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 boing.
And that's only an 11 on the active, but my passive is 23. I'll just leave that with you.
You go flying across, and you sort of glance over to one of the sort of the central towers, and you can see on top this female drow in a very well organized wizard robes, very plain, simple, but incredibly tidy. Sort of long silk back hair with a simple circlet along the top. Very clean and tidy, sort of monotone makeup, like just incredibly simple, but effective in what sort of like she can walk put it on in 5 minutes, walk out the door. You glances up, and as you're sort of flying across to land somewhere, I haven't decided in where, you just look and then you're like, ah! As you point and you can see Odendra, someone whom you're very familiar with, looking up like...
Don't look at me right now.
I need to have a shower first. I've gone through some stuff recently.
Well, I think that's the thing. Like she knew Odendra would be here. That's why she's here. That's how she's here. So I don't think it's a surprise, but it is more of a. I think it's just still being like in the inertia of being just punted. It's the most ungainly she has ever been.
I'm taking like 5 minutes into entering in as your character.
Yeah.
Every campaign turns into the Holy Grail.
Yeah. So I don't think there's a big moment of like, oh, hi at all. There's just the clocking of her, and then like immediately focusing on like, where am I landing? How am I landing?
Yeah, that's a real
going.
That's a big
That's a real good question.
Yeah.
Where are you landing?
I mean, that's a heck of a kick.
I'd love to offer to catch you, but it flings you 90 feet in that one round, so I ain't catching you.
Oh, you actually cast catapult on my...
I'm actually casting catapult, so it casts it blasts you in a 90 feet in a direction. So I'm imagining you kind of approaching the wall, wondering how on earth you're going to get in, and then it's just like 90 feet up.
Great. Love that.
Can you roll me a d12, please?
You just bounce off a wall.
Me, or should we make
Giant.
Sean do it because it's his fault?
Bolt.
So I feel as the person who has been catapulted, you may judge whichever way you wish.
Go on, I'll roll. 7.
7. When you peek.
Pinball machine in there. Ding, 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 ding.
So I'm going to have to retcon briefly, as it's the Marshal's tower that you're going currently directly towards. So instead of seeing Odendra seeing you go past, Odendra's currently seeing you coming directly at.
Perfect. Ideal. This is how everyone wanted this to go.
This is exactly what we wanted to happen.
What would you like to do? As you are currently on a collision course with Odendra and a dwarf that stood next to her.
Now, I can't do catapult myself, but I'd like to think that she knows enough about the spell to know that if I got rid of Resilient Sphere now, I would probably take a lot of damage.
You die.
Yeah. So, I can't cast anything because it won't cast it through it. So, and I'm not gonna. I can't let it go. So, I guess I would like to look panicked at Odendra for a free action, and trust that she is a powerful wizard, had something that might be able to protect herself.
Yes, and as if the perfect crime begins, you see her sort of look up. I'll make an insight check. Oh yeah, an 18 plus plenty. She knows you've decided to do nothing and go, you got this.
What am I going to do? What are my options?
That's a real good question. Because what she does do is cast Dispel. Oh, wait.
What's it going to kill me?
Yeah, she's going to explode.
If you're stuck, I do have a thing. I probably would be watching that any moment. Yep, they're going to do. Nope, they're not doing this. Why aren't they?
It's Dispel Touch.
I can't help but feel I'm going to be blamed for this.
Oh
in some
no!
way.
I think
I'll just do it. Featherfall.
There we go.
Oh,
Thank you.
yeah.
Shit.
The problem is you can't featherfall, as I'm pretty sure
It won't pass through the sphere.
it won't pass through the sphere, and the sphere wouldn't be affected by featherfall. Was what my DM brain was thinking. But if I can, oh, perfect. Yeah, no, she's got this. Idendra casts Dispel Magic. What level is?
It's the 4th level.
Level 4. That's fine. She can do that, no problem. And then, as she has the Meta Magic feat, she will then quicken spell to Featherfall.
Great. Great work. Guess what I didn't prepare today?
Yes, in an underground cavern. Featherfall. Who would have thought?
I'm just going down to the centre of the earth. It's fine.
I mean, the one person who thought this might happen, the person who took catapult and featherfall.
Yeah.
I mean,
I might fling someone and
well
then
played.
want them to land.
Well played.
Fine.
Again,
I love
think
that
this is
that's your
happening.
thought process in preparing spell, Sean. Like, you've set up this perfect scenario in your head. I love that we've managed to make it happen for you.
I mean, I genuinely briefly was like, this is literally the only thing that will launch me as far as I need to go, but I weigh significantly more than I can cast this spell at.
And the logic behind Idendra having Featherfall is she's stood on top of an 80-foot tower, so it's a emergency precaution. Just if anybody's like, let me see her spellbook. And I'm
Also,
like,
canonically, her assistant has fallen off the wall once today. So it's just like, fuck's sake, Amaryllis,
I'm
sorry.
a little bored, like days since
Yeah.
Amaryllis has fallen off the wall. Scratched through 0.
It's in minus numbers.
Yeah.
She's fallen off tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think there's been at least one time you've seen Moira throwing herself off walls and gone, yes, this is an efficient way to go to get down to pass messages, and realised you can't do that.
Hit the ground. Ah, it's meatloaf at the canteen. Good night. Just someone go heal her.
well, as the Featherfall, you almost sort of land right in front of Idendra, as she sort of like shakes her hand, as she's had to sort of like quickly burn these 2 spells off incredibly quickly, and she just does like the classic like and blows her fingers out as the sort of residual energy from her spells dissipates. And do you want to make an insight check?
Sure. Wow, I am rolling decidedly mid today. That's a 15 total.
Oh, a 15.
Nora hasn't slept in a week. It's fine.
She
Like,
keeps an incredibly like simplistic face, very stoic, not giving anything away, purposely like not, but you can see just like the slight curl of a smile, not like a malicious one, like a friendly one and a sort of humorous one, but she blocks it away. It's almost like she's purposely trying to pretend, but she's purposely being very authoritative and doesn't want to show any of the soldiers watching that this is either acceptable or not acceptable. But you can see with a 15 there is a slight curl of a smile that she has to stifle very quickly.
and she probably knows that I've clocked it as well. We'll sort of land, and it's probably just a little bit too close, and we'll sort of take a step back and sort of dust off coat. Thank you, and apologies, that was not the way I intended to arrive. You seem to be in the middle of... Is everything all right?
Well, I was under the impression that it would be dealt with in a matter of 15 minutes. The bigger problem is, and she sort of like glances over at this now like virtually chaotic whirlpool of a portal. What are we going to do about that? And that's where we'll take the break.
That's I've got a solution.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody who's stuck through that. I apologize, it ended up being quite a long introduction, but that was quite fun. So we'll see you in about 5-10 minutes. And welcome back. So, well, what a terrifying, incredible, but also chaotic intro that took the entire first half, which was epic. We find ourselves back. At this point, I would say flying in, it's up to you whether you want to land with Nora or if you want to land on the wall or inside of the place somewhere. I'm assuming Moira is in tow, blasting back through the horde.
Absolutely.
I'm almost using that ramp of undead to your advantage at this point. The hop back. Oh no, you could just run up the wall, can't you?
Yeah, but it's cooler if I run up the...
The bodies of the fallen.
Yeah, I'm trying this whole new thing where I actually like myself and what I can do. Sometimes it works, but if I can blast a whole thing of undead and then land on a wall and run down it, let's do it. It's cool.
Yeah.
So at any point you can, if you're going straight to Nora, unless there's anything else you'd like to do.
I think after that moment we had, like, Nora is now my priority.
Yeah, absolutely. Odendra has gone back, has managed to solidify her face once more back to a very serious, stoic face alongside Thorgrim, this dwarf who's, although Odendra is wearing a relatively uniform, and it seems to sort of match up similar to a lot of what the soldiers are wearing. It's in the same sort of color scheme. Still individual to her. It's very similar to the same style that you knew her to wear at university and other places that you spent with her. But the dwarf is wearing like a sort of stained white vest and some trousers, and has just got like really hastily hung axes on both of the sides, and he's just sort of stood with like squinting at you, or squinting or scowling, you're not entirely sure, with his arms crossed, like just watching quietly, almost like expectantly, but not currently interrupting this conversation. Odendra, after sort of looking over at the portal and pointing at it and going, what are we going to do with that?
Yes, I apologize about that. I had a little journey into a different plane. Was not a pleasant one. This was my only way out. I was not expecting that. That did not work the way I intended it to. It seems here that you've got, well, quite a robust defense system going up, so...
Oh, I mean...
Congratulations. Hopefully that will help.
Out of all the places you could have brought a terrifying influence in portal, or I think it's a portal, I certainly don't recognize what it is.
I believe it's a portal, yes.
This is probably one of the best places to do... I mean, please don't tell me this was like an experiment.
No. I started out that way. I mean, in a technical sense, I suppose. I didn't know if it was going to work or not, and it did, so experiment successful, but it was mostly trying to save my life.
Okay, I feel slightly better about this now.
And we're very fortunate that this is where you happen to be. So we have defenses. It seems we have intelligent people around here that can help me figure out what this is, how we can stop it. I apologize for bringing this to you, but I'm glad it was here and not in the middle of Waterdeep or anywhere like that.
No, there's not very many places that have a purpose-built military and arcane fortress. So your location... Were you intending to bring it to this... How did you know of this location? I don't believe we've ever spoken of this place.
I didn't. I had one link back to this plane that I had to use as a focus. And she'll pull out the little beetle brooch.
Very, very clever. And
But knowing you, I figured you'd be doing something useful. And being
Yes,
somewhere where you could protect people, so I took a gamble.
She certainly, she's been holding your eyes this entire time, and she's at that moment kind of glances away, but then looks back at you. Well, as honestly sweet as this whole thing is, I do believe we do need to get into the exact details of this, not intention.
You're right. Do you have a base of operations I can work from? I'm afraid my lab is very far away from here.
I have an arcanum with mostly everything you... In fact, I don't know what you're going to need, so I have an incredibly talented prodigy apprentice as of now. Can you believe this? I've taken an apprentice, Nora.
It does not surprise me.
And I have an incredibly detailed arcanum and library. I also have under my care, as such, some incredibly talented adventurers who have joined the Wall, some who are in service and some who are here to act as heroes of the Wall. I would like to introduce you. I'll obviously allow them to choose whether they'd like to be involved in this, but I believe you did briefly meet them, as they were the ones who came out to meet you on your unexpected arrival.
They did seem incredibly capable and thought outside of the box, I suppose.
Yes, and, well, like old times, I guess I'll have to research with you on this one.
I wouldn't want to put you in that kind of imposition if you have other responsibilities to do here. I will immediately turn to Fargrim. My apologies. My name is Dr. Elethnora Duronni. I'm pleased to meet you. I'm terribly sorry to have brought this to your doorstep.
Aye. So, what we're going to do about all of the ones that are becoming all magic-y and shit?
That's what I'm hoping to find out, if you will allow me to work here.
Right you are. I'll pass this off. This is this ain't martial warrior business. I'm going to go shore up defences. I feel like we're going to have to double the watch. Luckily, the undead have been filtered out mostly. I reckon we can pick the rest off for now. Whatever's going on deeper, I'm not going to worry about. I feel like that's in the Arcanum's jurisdiction. And he kind of looks at you, looks at Odendra, then kind of looks and gives you a short bow.
He'll get a very curt nod in response.
Right you are. I'll send Xerius and Moira up. And you definitely want Riley, right?
Was that to...
Odendra nods.
Yeah, I guess.
He sort of heads down the stepways and you can hear this muffled shouting of orders and things like that. Odendra places her hand on your shoulder once he leaves, and she sort of softens slightly for Odendra anyway, and she goes, forgetting circumstances, it's good to see you. And she casts Dimension Door, and you appear in the Arcanum. In the same vein, she sends a message over to Amaryllis, saying that they've moved to the Arcanum. She'd like to see you free there.
Again, relay that. We're currently just like casting firebolt off the wall. We're wanted in the Arcanum, supposedly with the stranger.
Just dunking water over my head in some attempt to be clean.
I'm also not going to cast Mage Hand to like hold the water up for you. Was it pouring my water? I don't know why I got into the habit of just pouring water on people, but it helps.
That's actually really incredibly useful.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think she's someone that one of my old friends used to know, so...
Oh.
Well,
Like, good? Or like, arch rival, fight to the death, fall off a cliff?
complicated. Incredibly complicated.
Well, let's go and meet this very incredibly complicated person.
Yeah.
I think with Odendra casting message as soon as she's done, Nora will sort of realize just quite how dirty and dusty she is. So quickly like cast prestidigitation to try and smarten herself up a little bit. But we'll then turn back to Odendra. You don't have a teleportation circle around here, do you? I actually have an apprentice of my own who is getting quite adept at planar research, and it would be incredibly useful to have them here.
I apologize. It's actually seen as a security risk having a direct teleportation circle in the fortress.
Fair enough.
But
While they're
if you can, we have very capable people who you're welcome to send word to. I do apologize. The fortress isn't currently in lockdown as we are under siege. As soon as it is deemed a reasonable amount of undead, we can open the gates back up and release someone immediately.
Oh, that won't be a problem. I can contact them, but in terms of getting them here, then that's more complicated. I'll just, while we're waiting for the others, it's been a little while. I just want to make sure they're not worried about me.
Let me know if you need a private space to send that message.
Nora will take a moment, about to say no, it's fine, and then think, actually, yes, that would be very useful. Thank you.
Okay. Once we are finished here and you've had a chance to speak with my heroes, you may use my quarters. You sort of at this point, being locked in with this conversation with Odendra, you kind of like look around at this point, and although healthily called an Arcanum, there maybe is a party that's a little disappointed at just how small this chamber is. It may be even a little less insulting to call it an Arcanum, but the stuff in it is very much so. It is mainly for, it's a small chamber where arcane energies of the wall are studied and harnessed. So certainly focused. Captain Thalia Frost, who is Odendra's apprentice, is here.
Odendra
Thalia
has 2 apprentices?
Oh, have I said the wrong person? What have
I
I
was
done?
thinking of Amaryllis, but that's not, yeah.
Oh.
Unofficial.
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 Amaryllis is the intern.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
Once again, oh god, I'm an intern again. I'm doing stuff for credit. Oh, we can talk
I'm
about
pretty
promotion.
sure Odendra is under the impression you're under supervision.
Yeah.
Probation
I
period.
mean, Odendra knows you're level 9, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she certainly respects Amaryllis for being capable. Just the actions so far have not really added up.
I've leveled down due to bad choices in life.
I'm sure for the context of everybody at home, this story will come up at some point. So just hold on and hope.
Yeah. Just imagine if I never mentioned it. Just like, some stuff happened.
Everybody, like, all the higher ups are just really cold to you for no reason. Valia Frost is a halfling, and she wears a very similar outfit to Odendra. Simple, but the sort of big difference is she keeps her uniform incredibly tidy, but everything else is as wild as sort of she comes across. She's got really long, frizzy hair that sort of pops out, sort of quite strikingly blonde, and the blonde really sort of resonates with these sort of bright green eyes, like piercing green eyes. And as you sort of begin to look around in the Arcanum, you can see her currently basically clearing spaces on desks, and you can hear the smash of some bottle that gets smashed on the floor as she's sort of grabbing stuff and going over and grabbing a book from a shelf and stuff like that. Quite frantically moving around, clearly up to something. She's the only one in here currently, sort of rushing around. But the room, although small, certainly doesn't seem to be lacking. There is a exotic mix of ingredients, spell components. You can sense, and to be fair, at this point, your detect magic will still be up, so you're getting probably blinded.
The concentration,
overall.
which I would have dropped when I cast.
Absolutely. But even as an experienced magic user, you can sense a huge amount of magic coming from this room. I imagine at this point, Amaryllis, Xerius, and Moira sort of come through the main door in.
What, you didn't catapult yourselves in as well?
Just,
You know what? He has never. He threw me once. It was glorious, and then he's not done it again. I'm actually disappointed.
I'm often getting thrown because of the small size. Welcome. As you claim sanctuary, you are welcome here. Please avail yourself of. Oh, that's. Oh, yes. Tea. Do people want tea, biscuits? Just clicks into. I need to kind of do my job here. So I'm just then looking at the broken glass and going, mage hand. Try and put it into the broken glass bucket.
Don't worry about it. Pass it to me.
It moves to the bucket. The hand comes out, moves it back, puts it in your hands.
I'll just mending it.
Yeah.
There we go.
Thank you.
Thank you again for before, and apologies for putting you in that position.
Apologies for the very unceremonious launching over the wall. Very little else that we can do to scale an 80-foot climb while you're in a hamster ball.
Your methods are effective. I can't fault them. A little bit of more warning next time, though, would be appreciated. My name is Dr. Elisnora Duronni.
Oh,
nice to meet you all. Yes, you.
Me.
You know Arcana.
Yeah. She's a friend.
I'm delighted that she settled here well.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, the fact that I made it here means that she succeeded in the mission, so I am pleased to hear that. I'm intrigued to see what she's been getting up to whilst here.
Mostly wandering about, trying to find her place, feel comfortable. It's taken her a while to... She's still grieving.
Understandable. And what is your name?
xin'moira Lithram. You can call me Moira. Everyone else does.
And you?
Xerius Serene Potent Worm. At your service. Somewhat of a researcher here, but I don't mind getting my hands dirty.
That is excellent news. We're going to need all hands on deck for this, I believe. And yourself?
Hey, Amaris Giftig. Hi. Oh, how do you want your tea?
Hot.
At this point, Odendra sort of interrupts and goes, at this point, you are going to be acting as the incredibly powerful wielder of magic you are, and not, let's say, we're taking the training wheels off. I need all of the chaos and all of the ideas you can think of, because I truly believe at this point, structure, following the norm, one would say, is certainly not going to fix this problem.
I rolled a 10 on deception, so everyone who's got a better insight can see Amaris's eyes are like lighting up, and you're like, yes, yes.
Are you going to be a danger?
Me? No. Again, 10 deception.
Eyes will just flick to Odendra briefly, but I trust her.
Now, I'm going to... Oh, sorry.
If Riley's with us, can you send someone to go and get my flask from my bunk if we're going to be having a conversation here?
Absolutely. I do believe you will have some time. I would prefer... Well, I was always told adventurers generally solve problems much better when they're sat around a table in front of a fire with some mugs of ale. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm generally not that familiar. But if you wish, you can go wherever you wish to discuss your problem. The services here, the services in the library, and the services of the Forge will all be yours.
Fantastic. Pub, then?
Well, that makes no sense. This office is well equipped to deal more tactically with the situation.
Yes, but I deal much more tactfully with situations when I'm lubricated.
I'm leaving tomorrow. I could send someone to go get your flask if you want.
But I'm getting... It was a fight.
Sure.
How much is Moira trying to hide the whole situation?
I think she's not trying... I think it's more keeping it on a subtle down low, but she's not trying to hide it too much. Only because I think some of the shenanigans going round. So I think everyone knows there's something slightly off with her. But not necessarily exactly what's going on.
I will roll an insight check. Yeah, so that's an 18.
I don't know what I'm rolling, but yeah.
Just
Is that a
general.
passive deception?
Yes, I imagine. Yeah, passive
So,
deception.
yeah.
But you may as well roll to make it easier. Just a straight deception.
That's a 22 for deception, except for I think she's only trying to deceive people who are either panicky or don't know stuff.
I think just if this helps or informs your decision, although ironically, constantly fighting undead may make certain warriors embittered towards the idea of undead. Overall, anybody that has either figured out or knows, i.e. Odendra, for example, is pretty accepting. There's not I wouldn't say there's particular hate towards you being that way, especially seeing as I don't know how much of your story you'd have told, but with the understanding relative of your personality and everything else, I don't think that's the leading factor in why people listen to you and respect you. It's got a lot more to do with your actions, and in a place where you're constantly taking actions, i.e. fighting, helping, stuff like that, your actions will have many, many months ago spoken more than who you are to most, if not all, the people here.
Yeah, I'm giving myself disadvantage because I'm not trying to do much about the deception, and that's going to be a 14.
Okay, fair enough. This is all basically to say whether Nora clocks the teeth or not, really. So I think at that point she sort of kind of looks at you and goes, I think if we're going to be working together, I'd much rather you had a full stomach than an empty one, if anyone can be sent to gather your flask.
It's only bad once I've been... It's honestly mostly after triage, because people are stupid and get themselves covered in all sorts of shit.
I can imagine that's frustrating.
Kinda, yeah.
So we're working here then, yes?
Yeah. Really, could you?
Yeah. Should I go, or I can send someone?
Send somebody. You're an actual important person now.
I lean slightly out the door and point as we just hear something pop, and then there's a flutter of wings. Okay, I'm here. Here, I'm focused. Everyone's got to eat, right? Full stomachs. Is that the plan? We're here, pub. What's the plan?
I think Nora has already grabbed pieces of paper while you've been doing that and has started doing notes and sketches and is just well, it makes sense for us to work here, so has just ignored Xerius's comment.
Mm-hmm. It looks like... Oh, go on.
No, that's a ridiculous idea. No. We're here.
It looks like we're staying here. I don't mind you. I don't wonder whether you would pop off a message just to get someone to pick me up a glass, would you?
Sure. Okay, lean out the door, cast message, and then just really does a lot of pointing at things. I mean,
Luckily, I'm pretty sure everything is within 1,000 feet. Yeah. So you can pretty much shoot off anywhere. Or is it 120 for message?
120 for message. But
oh. Okay.
Still close.
For her to slightly jog out, cast message, and then
you're
jog
still
back
pretty
in.
well covered as long as you're on one half or the other.
Yeah.
Odendra at this point is going to... I will return when Amaryllis informs me that you've made some progress and they fully understand what you made, Nora. I'm going to go reapply the wards, as my responsibilities still will keep me. But I will leave you in the capable hands of Thalia. Thalia, you're not entirely sure whether Thalia has actually noticed that you are all 5 of you are in the room or not.
Fair enough.
And she's still sort of, and I imagine, Nora, you did literally go next to her to pull out
Thank you, I'll take that. That looks useful.
and she's just passed them to you and then continued doing what she's doing without particularly noticing. One thing you do notice, though, or particularly, Nora, Xerius will do a history check for yourself to see if you can remember / you know exactly what this is. And Amaryllis, you're welcome to as well, being arcane knowledged.
15.
So what is it, history or arcana, did you say?
Either or, it's up to you.
Oh.
With you being here, you may have been told what this is, but it's a
Okay.
relatively unknown thing.
I'll go arcana. 25.
Was that history or arcana for all of us, or just really?
Just really, and Xerius, it'd be arcana for Nora.
Oh, okay, great.
Maybe history for me.
Yep.
19 for me then.
19, 25, and...
Just a 16 from me.
16.
Yeah, my modifier's doing most of the heavy lifting there.
just behind the table, being reflected on by a large mirror that almost makes it look even bigger. The Arcanum holds this ancient crystal. Now, it's an incredibly impressive crystal, glowing like a lilac blue, like an incredibly light and dainty and sort of mystical lilac. It flows. Amaryllis, you would remember this. You know this is the ever-flowing font. Xerius, you know that this is something that basically sustains the wall's protective enchantments. That's as much as you would know. Amaryllis, with your 25, you would know that this is an incredibly powerful artifact level magic item. Laura, your sort of understanding goes to the point of that's giving off a huge amount of potential energy and held energy, but it's clearly being used with a 19. You can tell it is currently being used, but it's incredibly, and it would certainly, with the arcane and knowledge that you three have, immediately catch your attention. It's just something it's like someone shining a torch right in your eye. It's just impossible to ignore.
Power.
Yeah, but yeah, Thalia's sort of moving stuff about, and Odendra has politely bowed, and Nora, Odendra passes Nora a key just before she leaves. She sort of takes your hand and places her hand on top and puts the key. That's my office. Use it as much as or little as you like if you need some private space.
Many thanks.
Amaryllis, although is now an incredibly powerful and influential person in this team, I'm sure would still be very happy to show you where it is.
Nods enthusiastically.
And leaves.
Right then. What do the rest of you know about planar energies?
Disappointingly little.
I think Nora's going to immediately, on all of those responses, go straight into like lead scientist mode and probably give a lecture. But it's going to be very like, okay, fundamentals, this, resonances, frequencies, blah, 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 having a focus, da, 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 da. And we'll explain basically what happened to her in loose terms. She's not going to basically talk about her research at Nexus or mention Nexus at all, because it's supposed to be a secret. But we'll say that she'd been working on a project and been transferred to this other plane, Corazon. We'll explain the whole Ragnora situation and her research, that her sort of channeling this this energy to get here. So it's basically caught you up on everything apart from how she got to Corazon properly in the first place.
Do you just say, I got there via a method? You just skip what the actual process is? Or
I was doing some research. I had an accident.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so someone does point it out.
Yeah.
I was going to insight whether
I will
spotted it.
absolutely roll a deception check. It won't be good.
I'll roll insight. That's also not good.
I also rolled insight. Yeah.
I'm inciting everything she does.
I roll insight not because I don't believe you, but because I'm just very attentive and be like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah. I just really want to go and check her character, because all I've got going into this is Arcana's like memories of everything, and I'm just like going, is she gonna screw us over? Is she someone we can work with? So just inciting everything, and I rolled a 26.
Nice.
Well, I rolled a 7, so I trust you implicitly.
Great.
I got a 22. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
she's definitely very tactful in the way that she described getting there. The events of delivery, Sean's one shot, she will probably omit the part where she murdered a guy.
Attempted murder on Arcana.
She'll probably say things like, there was a disagreement about who went through. Arcana was the one that won.
There's an eyebrow that raises visibly at that, and does a look at you like, we are going to talk later. I will let you gloss this now, but we are going to talk later.
Again, having the good insight, I kind of catch that, and I'm just like, conflict.
I'm just here to learn some science.
Yeah. And I think that's also Noura's drive behind all of this. Is it's like, okay, there are other details, but that's not what's important now. What's important now is stopping that thing out here and out there, and that this is what you need to know for that. So she'll talk about like the fundamentals she knows about planar energies and magics as well. And we'll sort of rattle on through everything and be like, okay, so thoughts, queries, ideas?
I think just as this is about to happen, there's just like a little knock at the door, and I'm like, just a moment. Hurry up. Take a knee. Go, you okay? You got it? Hold up with the flask. And then go, okay, cool. Just hand your flask, wave my hand, and then come back in. Okay. Yeah, no, quiz. So it's a portal. It's not gonna collapse in on itself, you don't think? It's gonna just stay like a slash.
I had about 12 seconds to look at it before we left. So I cannot be certain of my convictions. I would like to get back out there, but it seemed more pertinent to get away and take stock from afar first and then dip back in.
So you don't know if it's going to hold? You don't know if this healing's going to come pouring in?
It's definitely not doing that.
Right.
It's definitely sealed off from Corazon. That was all I managed to establish. But what it is doing now, all of this reaching out and touching things, I have no idea what that is. It does not seem to be radiant or positive energy. It's definitely coming from a negative energy place. So I don't know if that's from the negative energy plane. Like I said, it was eldritch power that I don't fully understand or control. That's on me. That I used to get here. But so that's probably involved.
Makes sense.
Wow, that was an incredible story. You can see at this point, Thalia's just stood next to Amaryllis, like.
I kind of turned to. I know, right?
We'll just raise an eyebrow.
I'll go back. It's just so compelling.
No. Odendra trusts you. You're here. Do you have any thoughts?
So... Something's keeping it here, right?
Agreed.
What is locking it here when you've arrived?
It's either something that I brought with me, or something that that energy has found here, that it wants, that those reaching tendrils.
Right, and correct me if I'm wrong, Doctor, but from what I understand, portals, especially plane shifting types of magic, they're almost like homing beacons. They have to hold on to something that is based here. So, what's it holding on to stay?
We'll pull out the little beetle brooch. I really don't think that this would be enough, but I'm willing to try. If we think we can get me Xerius, I saw you carrying Amaryllis earlier. If we think it's quieter out there now, do you think you could fly me over there? I can try throwing this back in. I really doubt that it's going to get rid of the whole thing, but if it is that simple, then our problems will be over much quicker.
Make a history check, Nora.
Sure.
I'm willing to try, but unfortunately, this is the suit's only able to sustain that power for once per day. It needs some time to recharge.
I could send someone to go drop it off if you want.
Just casually send someone out there into that battlefield with all of those zombies enhanced with we don't know what eldritch power?
Well, I mean, she did a good job at getting the flask, but I suppose it's a bit of a different... I kind of, again, reach up into the pool, and my hand comes out. It's a moss-covered small owl. And I'm like, so this is this is my familiar. She did a good job at getting the flask, and she's very brave, and I don't know, maybe she could fly over and drop it off and fly back.
Have you sent her out into the battlefield before?
A few times, mostly to absent-mindedly, like, rubs at her cheek, to deliver messages and things. And she's very good. She's only been caught like 4 times. But, well,
if this doesn't work, I want this brooch back.
I don't think that's going to be it, though.
No.
It's going to be
Well,
too small.
I rolled a 10 in my history check, by the way.
You know that the silver beetle brooch is really important to you. And it was a location, and you know it's connected to a dendra, but you can't remember why. You have no idea what the context of that brooch is. You just know that, oh yeah, it was the perfect focus, it makes sense. But yeah, but why?
As in, but I know that she gave it to me. I don't.
You know that she had it, and then you now have it. And that's why you went, oh, perfect. This makes sense. But the entire context of it is totally missing in your mind.
Yeah, I think she's going to take a moment and then suddenly really look at the brooch. And I think this is possibly the first time it occurs to her that she can't remember why she has it. And that is disconcerting.
You're okay.
Maybe you don't have to put it through the portal if you don't want to lose it, if it's important to you.
I don't think it's going to be a throw it in, oh, it didn't work, retrieve it kind of thing. No. It goes in for good.
Yeah, sorry.
I think I need to speak to Nightshade about it. Any other thoughts? Theories?
It's like eldritch, like dark energy, right? So it could be... I mean, I hate to go and point out the obvious, but we've got hordes of undead out there.
It seemed to be enhancing them, powering them up somehow. But it definitely wasn't Ragnora's energy. If it was Ragnora's energy, I don't know, they'd be turning back to living or something like that. She's all about the healing and the light and that sort of thing.
I've seen some of the experiments they tried to replicate. It was not pretty.
I suppose you will have.
But thinking more that like caused the like, if the negative is trying to connect to whatever's negative, causing all of that out there.
Can we Is there a window overlooking the portal from the? Are we in a tower on the wall?
Down in a building.
In a building.
We can move to a tower though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the stairs
the
up.
Cavern Guard Tower and the Subterra Tower are pretty much like directly next to you.
Mhm.
Or the Marshal's Tower is literally round the corner.
Okay. Is there anything specifically in the Arcanum that the like research and books on like the situation here at all?
In what the situation in the context of the wall or something to do
I
with
think
politics?
actually no, scratch that. I think that's what Nora's mind turns to is okay, I need to speak to Adendra, but also tell me more about the situation here. How long have you been here? What is the deal with all the hordes of zombies? What is this wall for?
I mean, we've been here for centuries now. This has been a persistent problem for a significant portion of time. Ourselves.
Forgive me, I
Hmm.
don't believe that Dragonborns tend to live that long. Do you mean you yourself have been here for centuries?
No. I mean us in the much more liberal sense.
I'm with you.
No. I've been here for 2, maybe 3 years. The other 2, not quite that long, I don't believe.
Couple of months.
Yeah.
Sorry, xin'moira, was it how long did you say you've been here?
So I feel I'm not great with short amounts of time.
She's just gonna pull out on her bronze gauntlet just like a thin strip of paper and sort of cast a little. It's almost like doing a little voice note to yourself on your phone. Just like figure out the maths of how long I thought I was in Corazon for and how long it actually was later, and then put it away.
A thought occurs. So, you say that this Ragnora draws on positive energy, but the undead and certainly the plague would tend to be more negative energy.
I believe that her power in itself is positive, and she was consuming or creating, consuming things and imbuing them with positive energy, which I drew upon the negative energies of the planet that were being drawn out as part of this process.
In mechanical terms, you'd often have a two-pole situation. You'd have a positive and a negative side, and certainly in physics, you would have every action would have an opposite and equal reaction. So perhaps something to do with the enormous amounts of positive power that Ragnora's influence is controlling. Somehow, opening the portal, you've caused an equal and obviously drastic reaction on this side with the negative. It doesn't necessarily go any way to helping solve it, but perhaps understanding it holds a bit more of the key.
I have some bad news on that front, I suppose, is that we never came up with a way of stopping Ragnora permanently. I was working with a team that helped create a device to basically seal that realm off from her energy from being able to travel to any others. And that was the best we could manage.
And
That
yet you
was the
found a
mission.
way through.
I did. I still can't believe it worked, I'll be honest. Using the opposite energy. So maybe if we found a way to channel an extremely powerful source of positive energy, radiant energy, she glances at Moira.
Cancel it back out again.
Maybe that can help.
It's a start.
I don't believe I have anything prepared. We'll start kind of, it's like little Rolodex of like short form names of spells. I don't believe I have anything prepared today that will help with that situation.
Point. There's another knock at the door. Amaryllis dashes out, runs back in with a little thing of beer. It's like, there you go.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure. Turn to Nora. Are you sure you don't want anything to drink, or
Water will be fine.
just fills up from a jug on the side and hands it to you?
Thank you. I think you will, as you hand it over to her, like, I think as this conversation is going on, she does look knackered.
Yeah, take it in inside. And I mean, you're here. We're starting the process. If you need, if you need food, if you need water, if you need a place to lay down,
I have potentially brought terrible evil to this place. That is on me. I intend to fix the problem.
Very small smile. Well, join the club. But we can work through this. We can solve it. Yeah, it's doable. Some of the greatest minds here fighting back evil.
And not to be pedantic, but there was already terrible evil here already. So you've added to, not brought. So I wouldn't worry too much.
Just very blasé. It's like, it happens.
Exponentially worsened, but not created.
Yeah.
I mean, my dad always says that if you're in a bad situation, you're always more likely to make it worse by being tired.
That is wise, I suppose. I would still like to check in on what the portal is doing now to see if it's changed any since we've been here.
We can take you up to the. I hand you an item. I'm like, you can look through that. That's going to help you see over long distances. We can get you up onto the wall if you want, or one of the towers.
I think Nora just sort of takes it, looks at it, gives you a nod, hands it back, and then casts Arcane Eye.
Nods. And I'm like, smart. Okay, if you've got the spell slots, might as well.
Weird way of putting it.
I'm a
strange little creature you are.
Strange little lady. Yeah.
You've got the spoons.
Got the magic spoons.
It's so good. I'm talking to. So it's like, being here is so good for my mental health because I'm really not the weirdest one around.
I look at you as my mossy owl also looks at you.
It's refreshing, isn't it?
I know it is. It's a good thing. I mean it in a good way, really.
No offense taken. I am incredibly odd. Don't worry. Yes. So we'll get you. You can look at the portal. We'll make sure you get something to eat, sleep. Is anyone you need to contact? We could. I mean, we're in lockdown at the moment, but we could try sending out some messages to let people know you're back.
That is on my to-do list. Is this place magically sealed? Would sending not work from here?
I can't. Well, there's seals on here, but I suppose if you go out on the tower, you can get more of a signal. Just yeah.
Sure. Sure.
Why not?
You committed to it, so it'd be wrong.
I like the idea that it's like a Faraday cage of magic, and then you go out and you're just like, which is why Amaryllis had to keep leaning out of the door to cast, to get things.
We'll head up to the tower, I guess. Tom, remind me what your owl's name was. I need to write it down.
I didn't say, but
oh, did you not? Oh,
no.
Okay.
I mean, if you ask.
Oh, I mean, I'm not asking.
No.
I thought you'd said.
No. Also, hate to break it into it, she technically can't say the full name because it's the name of a demon lord, and that's bad news.
Great.
Yeah. On the list of demerits for Amaryllis is stop saying that word. So, but the owl's name is just Mao. That's Mao the owl. Yeah. But,
yeah. We'll head up to the tower, send my arcane eye out to get closer to the portal and see what it sees.
So you don't quite make it to the tower.
Oh shit!
Great.
And you step out of the Arcanum, and you can hear wailing. And now this is more like sort of calls of warning. Now the actual fighting itself has slowed down quite significantly at this point. And it's more, it seems, sharpshooters, picking off small groups, things like that, and you can hear like the muffled thumps and explosions of the wards going off, and it's almost like the horde itself has come to a point where it's more of like the day-to-day of clearing the wall. More sort of simple shambling groups that may appear and attempt to breach the wall, but it's not quite the horde that you were dealing with only a couple of minutes ago. Everything has begun to, but something that has changed is this huge glow that almost infiltrates everywhere that's outside, well, inside the cavern, that in this context is outside of the Arcanum room. Anyway, but a call of warning shouts of incoming, duck, watch your head. You can hear these sort of like scattered shouts coming across from the wall, and a blue haze comes up like you would recognize it seems to be some form of shield, and you can see one or two magic casters holding their hands out as smashing into it around 30 foot above the actual wall line. You see these undead, morphed eldritch creatures smash into the shield wall that's been cast up. Two smash in, but more break through.
Oh dear.
Good, they've learned catapult now.
It's all your fault. They saw it and they were like, that's what we need to do. Previously, they just tried like walking at the wall and like just scratching it.
Out of the 10 that hit the shield that the casters on the wall are holding up, 7 break through.
Oh my God.
And one of them seems to have almost like bulged to double, triple its size, smashes into the siege machine right in front of you, and the rest basically slam into the floor. And it's that classic like slop as they hit the floor, and you're like, they're automatically like, ooh, and then you realize they're undead, so I guess you probably won't feel as bad about it. But they all begin to stand. The energy in parallel to the portal energy begins to crackle between their fingers. Their eyes begin to crackle. And I'd like everybody to roll initiative.
None
Good.
20.
Also
Okay.
not nat 20.
19.
4.
We'll start with Amaryllis.
Okay. Just go, biscuits. Okay. Just again, so like pauses, flips open, like pulls a tome from like he has a little holster aside and pulls open a book and be like, what's a good one to start with?
Oh, sorry, what was your initiative?
I said dirty 20.
Oh, dirty 20, I did not hear you. I do apologize. Zarius.
4.
4.
2 plus 2.
Nora.
Dirty 20
What's your
Dirty
dex?
20.
plus 3.
Then that's you. Yeah. I've got +1.
But I love that you're flicking through your spellbook anyway.
Yeah, no, just
Moira.
like
19.
And a 19 from Moira.
20, 19.
So, first off, I'm going to give you the context of the battlefield. Now you are welcome. So the furthest, the furthest. There's 2 siege weapons in this courtyard that you're in currently, as you've just exited towards the Subterra Tower staircase. To your north is the Shadow Peak Tower, and directly in front of you is the Dusk Forge Depths, which is the large forge. Surrounding sort of in a semicircle, you would be sort of around the entranceway to the Arcanum, and they've basically created a semicircle in this courtyard with their backs towards the Subterra Tower and the Shadowbeak Tower. Just to give you a bit of context of where they are, I'd say they are maximum. The furthest away would be 50 foot, and the closest would be 30. And there's 7 creatures. Beep, bop, 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 beep. Dr. Nora Duronni.
Yeah.
It's your turn.
Okay. Just double checking. Okay, and you said there's 7 of them.
Yes.
Great. I will cast. Sorry, just double checking this other thing doesn't require concentration. Don't think it does. No, it's not concentration. Great. Okay, I can do that later. I'm going to cast slow on 6 of them.
Very clever, yes. So, for just a little more context, there is 2 very oversized. They're the ones that have tripled in size. And then you've got 2, 3, 4, 5 sort of humanoid size, still of medium, but the 2 large ones would be classed as large.
Okay,
just for
cool.
the context of any spells or anything like that.
That's fine. I will. I guess I'm going to try for the biggest ones as well. And then 4 of the smaller ones. Can they all please make a wisdom saving throw? As she pulls a strip of paper out of her gauntlet, and it sort of flicks in the air and almost forms a circle like the shape of a clock, like a stopwatch ticking, and then just sort of like it's slowing down, and then kind of pings out and hits these 6 targets.
Very cool. Okay, what do I need to meet?
17.
17. We have 1 fail on a small one, and then we have one of the large ones. Fail. Small one again. Fail. 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 One more. Fail.
Great.
All 5.
6.
6. Fail.
Love
As this of slowed magic creates it's massively effective. There we go. Any bonus actions or movement? Any specific places you'd like to be?
I'd like to hide in the tower where I can still see what's going on, but I'm not a frontliner by any means.
That seems smart.
Yeah. So just to clarify, they -2 to their AC and Dex saving throws. They can't react. They can either use an action or a bonus action, not both.
Yeah.
There's other stuff as well, but I'll check that in a second. And as a bonus action, I don't think I can do anything in this moment, so I'm just going to hide.
Perfect. Amaryllis.
Amaryllis, who started looking through the book and turned to a page, and then the page turned back, and she's like, no, we're not doing that. Flicks through, flips out, and she's like, slightly slaps at the book. It's like, come on. Anyway, then looks up and is like, oh, it's slowed. That's a good spell. Okay. Doing spells isn't gonna, doing damage isn't gonna break slow, right? That isn't one of those.
I don't believe it does.
Concentration.
Always good to check. It's a bit like on Turn Undead, where you're like, no, my entire plan. Okay, I can. Yes, I'm going to cast. Also, Mike, it's not too meth because I think she does it every day. I cast mage armor myself when I get up. You know,
that's
knowing
fine,
that there's a
Oh,
battle.
yeah. I assumed I did that as well, if that's okay.
Yep, housekeeping stuff like that. As long as you mark the spells.
burn the spell. Also, Mao has taken off and is going to the top of the tower, and then just like, just like, I
Have
said,
fun.
best of luck. Magic missile. I think I'm going to do at 2nd level, so that's four darts. And let's. Yes, so I'm basically trying to hit 4 down front. So
yeah, you don't want to focus down on one. You want to split each dart.
Bang, bang, bang. Yeah, just enough to do a bit of do damage.
Would you like to focus on the 2 large ones and then 2 small ones, or 4 small ones, or a mixture?
Let's say the 4 small ones, just as a sort of
4 small ones, cool.
To start drawing blood. Also, maybe the big ones will just leave me alone. Who knows? So cast that, and that's okay. So 5. So yes, those do
5.
Yes, 5.
Yeah.
So 5 to each. Do I keep? No, yeah, you roll individually. So first, so that's 5. That's 3. That's 2, and that is 5 again. Yeah.
Good start. How does your magic missile look with Amaranth?
She's trying to make it look fiery, but there is a sort of purplish, like Nora having picked up on the magic, sort of like going, yeah, there's a hint of the grave about this very excitable young lady. But yeah, so there's red, but also like purple to the magic missile as it impacts. Pew pew. That's also how it's cast. Pew pew.
Perfect. xin'moira.
Cool.
Oh, sorry. Any bonus
No,
action?
I don't think there is.
Perfect.
Are there any of our soldiers in the mix injured or unconscious?
Currently, no. The soldiers have I'm giving the soldiers their own initiative. It just so happens they rolled horrifically bad.
That's fine. I don't need to worry about them yet. Then. Fantastic. Just going to...
I knew you were a cleric, so you're on about looking after them, but you said that so threateningly.
The thing is, if they get themselves injured, they're stupid and they need to stop it. Anyway, nod at Xerius and then just kind of get my whip out in one hand, holster my shield with the other, and just run straight at the zombies.
What are you going for? One of the absolutely huge ones, or one of the small ones?
Level Spirit Guardians is what I'm going for.
Okay.
I'm just
And they take that damage on the start of their turn in initiative.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of going to go and just get myself in the middle. I'm kind of seeing which ones Nora's axe kind of done with the slow, which ones might be a little bit more injured from the magic missile. So I'm kind of going to go and aim there in that cluster.
What's the range of the circle?
It is
Just remind me.
a number that I can tell you. 15 feet around me.
So that would be that's quite a wide diameter, isn't it?
15-foot radius or 15-foot diameter?
15 each.
So 30
I
foot
can't
diameter.
do math. Which
That
is
would be
terrible.
quite a large area. Because that would be 30 wide.
It's 30 foot from side to side of
Yeah.
the ring.
So that would be,
Do math,
yeah, that's
get
quite an
everything.
extensive area. I think with a bit of clever positioning, which I'd assume you would do, you would be able to get everybody at this point.
Yeah. Awesome.
With the way they're clustered into this courtyard. The geography will certainly benefit you at this point.
Just picturing us all at the back going, little to the left.
So just edge it, just edge it. There we
That's too
go.
far.
I am working with they can't take reactions, so I'm just kind of like,
There's literally nothing bar two of them can do. One of them, sorry. And I placed the one that can't do anything right at the back, because I'd assume you'd target the ones that you can see the closest.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Brilliant. So it is now the start of the turn. Roll me a Spirit Guardian damage, please.
Cool. I have dice and I can do things.
you love to hear the sound. Which is. I rolled kind of shit on some of them. So that's 15 total.
Very good.
Yeah. 15 radiant damage.
Very good turn. It's going to, I guess, call and response. It's going to shuffle its way forward, and it almost like flexes its muscles, and this like energy bursts out, and it just goes in straight with its fist. To just it's attempting to just slam straight down onto your chest. That's a 24 to hit.
That does hit.
Hold fire. Hold fire.
Oh.
I'm gonna. Could it please reroll?
Yep.
I'm gonna use my chronal shift as a reaction. It works like silvery barbs, except I can't give someone else advantage afterwards.
That makes it a 12.
There you go.
Does not hit.
12 does not hit. That is the end of its turn. It is now one of the big ones. Roll your Spirit Guardians.
Oh, that is so much better. Okay. 19.
Oh, massive.
I love that spell so much. So good.
Can you clarify the damage type as well, please?
Radiant.
Radiant, perfect. Thank you.
I am actually a good person.
That's how
You
the
can-
spells
That's a
cast.
running theme for this campaign.
You are noticing, and I should have said it before, that the damage you are doing seems to be particularly effective.
Mm.
It is then going to, again, at this point, this big one comes over, but it's dragging like a petrified piece of log. But you can see the arcane, the eldritch energy that's crackling around it seems to almost pass onto the petrified wood. It's going to swing down to attempt to swing on top of your head for a 16 to hit.
Misses. Just gonna block with my shield.
It will then try again to
It can't.
smash.
It can only make one attack.
Ah.
Of course, it is one of the. It's not the one at the very end, and there's one of our big boys. Well, big things.
Big boy.
That ends its turn. Spirit Guardians again.
Woo!
Woo.
Okay, that is 15.
These Spirit Guardians are just ripping them to pieces at this point. Just absolutely It's like someone's just got a chainsaw and just cutting them to pieces each time. It is now Thalia's turn. She's going to pop her face out, almost like directly just behind Nora, seeming to be smart enough not to leave the arcanum. Squishy. And she sort of turns and grabs a staff off the table that was on the table and pulls it across, aims it around the corner, and casts Fireball from the staff. Which, saving throw wise, do they have disadvantage on dexterity saving throws on slowed? I cannot remember.
I can't remember. -2 penalty.
-2. Okay, that makes it -4, just for a mini insight. No. No. All of them fail.
Great.
That's 24 damage as a huge blast blows the front. In fact, she gets them all, so I guess I'd roll for them.
Is she an evoker? Is Moira okay?
Moira's going to have to make a dexterity save.
Not again. No,
what
you're
are you
catapulted.
doing? She is our main point of attack and defense here.
She's not one of them. We keep having this conversation.
Being that you have to make a saving throw, I'm going to use my Flash of Genius reaction to add 5 to Moira's. Before you tell us what it was.
You can see like a sort of immediate glance of guilt. Like that potentially wasn't what she was planning on doing, but
Okay, let's go.
panic.
Let's go. I think that would have helped. So, plus my dex plus the genius, that's 22.
Oh, fantastic. You pass. So you would take 12 fire damage.
Cool. Let's do a con save now for my concentration.
Oh.
12 isn't horrific to hit, to be fair.
Oh yeah, no, I'm solid. I'm solid on that one.
Awesome.
I should say, Mike, the beasties that were slowed get to do the wisdom save again at the end of their turn. So actually, the few that were hit by the fireball that failed their dex saving throws, you should give them a wisdom save first, because if any of them pass, then they'll get +2 to their dex save. I don't know if it makes a difference.
Oh, that's a treat.
They still have -4, and that was... They are still slowed.
Okay, great.
Although, frustrating, luckily, Moira takes the minimal, well, not 0, but close to minimal damage you could. One of the big undead eldritch creature sort of burns up, and you watch the eldritch energy sort of almost like a worm writhe away from it and return back to the portal.
Okay.
1 down, 6 to go. Xerius Potent One.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to...
I think seeing as most people have removed themselves from imminent danger, I'm not going to... I was wondering about an aid or a bless or something, but no, I think I'll just rip into them and start punching shit.
Nice.
Punch it.
So, to help you prioritize, you've got 2 that are looking like particularly ripped to pieces, and then there's another 4, including the massive one that isn't slowed, that look relatively healthy still.
Sweet. Yeah, I will wade in and start decking them. So as a bonus action, I would like to activate my Radiant Thunder Gauntlets.
Very nice.
I don't know whether I have to activate them, but I have a reaction which involves then blinding things, so I'm guessing it has to be turned on. So yeah, literally just kind of. I think the reason he's gone last is because he's spent so long trying to just right, shit, do that, right, shield plugs into arm, cool. So yeah, I'm just going to wade in and I'm going to punch things twice. So, I mean, it's a 14
to hit.
To hit, yeah.
That absolutely hits. Are you going for one of the wounded ones, or are you going for the not so hurt ones?
Yeah, I'm going to pick on the weak ones. Sweet. So yeah, that is 11 points of thunder damage, and
wrong start.
And a creature hit by the gauntlet has disadvantage on attack rolls against targets other than me until the start of my next turn.
Just keep stacking these debuffs.
Yep. Yeah, as the armor magically emits a distracting pulse when it attacks someone else. So yeah, I just thud it, and the kind of thunder energy starts kind of reverberating around their heads. So that's one of them. I'm going to punch the other one, even though this one's not gone down. I'm going to punch the other one. I haven't rolled anything over a 10, but my modifier is plus 10, so that's a 17.
Yep, that certainly hits.
Cool. Max damage, 14 thunder damage, and disadvantage if not attacking me. And yeah, shield at the ready as well. So I just come on then.
Very good turn. So it is now the soldier's turn.
Yay.
Odendra appears on the wall alongside sort of a group that have sort of turned, some with crossbows, some with sort of bows and arrows, and you can also see on the tower to the north another group of soldiers sort of turn. Odendra sort of calls out to your minds instead of sort of shouting over the sort of the fighting and the calling and the horns that are being blown that you've been
breached.
Breached, I guess. Yeah, that would be a great word. Odendra says, "Do you want something to test, or are we wiping these from the face of the cavern?"
A test subject would be good.
Okay. And that's where we'll leave our first episode.
Thank you everyone for watching. This has been Duronni's Echo. We're going to be on Mondays for the next 3 Monday nights, 6 till 9 p.m. GMT. On Tuesdays, we've got The Wreckage of Mythra Noir, which is great. It's one of our old classic shows. You can watch that from 6 to 9 p.m. GMT. On Fridays, we've got Tom's Blades in the Dark show, running for how many weeks, Tom?
That's a very good question, depending on how much it gets cut up by. We're running for probably about 12. So who knows? What is time? I don't know.
What is time?
I've ruined Nat's excellent run.
And we also have stuff on YouTube. You should watch it. And also, thank you to our D20 Club. They're amazing. You can donate and join them if you want to. There'll be links in chat. You can find us everywhere under Roll Together RPG. On the socials and the TikToks and all of that and the podcasts. And I think that's it, probably.
This is the table. This is it.
Yeah. Hi, we're champions.
Perfect. Bye.
Bye. Professional.
Okay.